Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and this is your...
Oh, here comes an avalanche of bull.
A little more faith in that.
Photo News Fix. This fix is brought to you by me and the Knows Photo Raw Talk podcast that comes out every Friday. Now, this isn't your typical boring podcast, and you know the ones that I'm talking about, but in fact, you might be offended if you listen to ours, especially if you drive a Subaru. But if you're down for a good, entertaining, and sometimes informative hour-long chat between two people, I highly suggest you check out Knows Photo Raw Talk wherever you get your podcasts, or head on over to froknowsphoto.com/podcast. And don't forget, there's hundreds of episodes already in the Frokive. First up, are you a student 18 years of age or older with a valid student ID and you shoot Canon?
No.
Well, if you said yes, Canon has launched a free CPS membership. Now, CPS, for those who don't know, is Canon Professional Services. It's who you call when you need a camera repaired or cleaned, or when you need to borrow a lens or camera. My photographer friends who shoot Canon in Philly also like to call me CPS because I'm the go-to source for long-ass glass when you're in a pinch, but I digress. Back in the day, CPS was free for pros, but a few years back, they changed that, though there are still some free tiers to choose from. Silver was the lowest tier and is free as long as you have 10 qualifying points. You get points based on what you own. You can see the list of the points right here that show you pro bodies score more than consumer bodies. Anyway, gold is $100 a year with 20 points, platinum is $300 a year and you need 50 points, and cinema is $1,000 a year and you need a cinema product to qualify. I'm up to like 8 billion points because of Fund a Photographer.
That guy doesn't count.
Depending on your level, you get repair discounts of 10 to 30% off, equipment loans, priority turnaround time, and more. The new student membership gets you a CPS ID card, ooh, that's big, which instantly makes you so cool. You get a student member gift, which I'm not really sure what that might be. Maybe condoms or two, special I Shoot Raw versions, or maybe it's a lens strap. 10% off repairs, no equipment loans, but get access to CPS membership hotline. That's cool. Phone call. Oh, I wonder who that could be. Hello? Canon CPS membership hotline. How can I help you? This is Jared speaking. Oh, you're a student? You're not sure why your pictures are all out of focus? Are you sure you didn't mean to call the Nikon hotline? Oh, I'm right? Okay. Goodbye. Regardless, this is a smart move by Canon and a great way to try and keep students in their ecosystem as they come into their money-making years. Next up, Nikon has announced the development of a new lens, and I quote, Nikon is developing the Nikkor Z 28 to 135mm f4 PZ, a standard zoom lens for the Nikon Z mount system. Now, Nikon didn't give us much to work with other than this photo right here, but man, oh man, that lens looks super sweet. Sweet! Will you look at that gold, not yellow ring around the Z mount? This is such a unique offering that I only think Nikon could pull off and no one else, not even Sony.
But check your facts.
Oh, right. Sony kind of released the exact same lens 10 years ago, and by exact, I'm sure it's not the same inside, but this is just a development announcement, and we don't have specs or pricing or even a release date just yet to go offer. How much do you think this lens is going to be? Let me know down below. And finally, at the stroke of midnight on October 30th, Canon has announced not one, not two, not three, but four new lenses. And I'm gonna tell you all about them, starting with the least important, the RFS 7.8mm f4 dual lens. This dual lens is meant for people looking to make content for the pretty much failed headset market. What? How many people do you know own a headset, and of those who own a headset actually use it daily?
What are you talking about?
Exactly, because I own a headset. I don't use it daily, monthly, bi-monthly. Yeah, I don't use it. Keep in mind, this dual lens is only compatible with the Canon EOS EOS R7 with firmware update 1.6.0, or I'm assuming later, and is priced reasonably at only $449, meaning you can get into creating spatial video for under $2,000 when you combine the lens and the body. Now, next up on the release list are two new 1.4 lenses joining the already released 35 1.4 hybrid lens. There's a 24 1.4 and the 50 1.4. Now, if you're sitting there saying, wait, don't they all look the same? Why, yes. Why, yes, they do, or very close to the same. Now, these hybrid video/photo lenses were designed to be roughly the same size and weight to make rebalancing them on a gimbal much easier when you're swapping between 1.4 primes. Now, one of the biggest gripes for Canon mirrorless shooters has been the lack of more affordable, I say that because you'll see the pricing in a second, primes, as Canon first focused on higher-end pro glass for the first 5 years of the RF system. The 24 1.4 will be priced at $14.99, with the 50 1.4 coming in at $13.99. The funny thing is, I remember buying a Nikon 50 1.4 AFD for around $349 back in the day. In fact, maybe it was $220 because I bought it used, but boy, times have changed.
Someone here is getting old.
Canon's entire 1.4 hybrid prime lineup is going to be a great option for video and still shooters alike. And now on to the fourth lens, a lens that I didn't think was going to be real until we saw a very real looking leaked image of it from the Summer Olympics. Introducing the Canon 70-200 2.8Z, an internal zooming hybrid lens. You heard that right, internal zooming, unlike the original RF 70-200 2.8 Chode edition that was a grower, not a shower.
And the water was cold.
Now, I had a bunch of gripes with that lens, of which size wasn't one of them, but my gripes have all been rectified with this release. More on that in just a second. Once again, if you're looking at the new 70-200 2.8Z and saying it looks a lot like the 24-105 2.8Z, well, you're correct. They share the same exterior casing. Now, the zoom throw has been shortened a ton compared to the original, which you had to twist a ton to get it to go from 70 to 200, which should more match what Sony did with their 70 to 200 2.8 version 2, which has an amazingly short throw. They kept the focus ring small and towards the outside of the lens, unlike Nikon with their 70 to 200 2.8, which they put before the zoom ring, which means you have to extend your hand further out. Now, do I like that the zoom is on the outside? The answer, Steven? No. No, still no. Yeah, it's still a stupid design. And by stupid, I mean it's a stupid design. I'm gonna live and continue to say that every time because there's a reason Sony and Canon didn't do the same thing. Anyway, it weighs in at 2.4 pounds or also 2.5 pounds because get this, there's two versions. There's a black and a white. And guess what?
Oh shit, what?
The white weighs more, probably because of the paint. Canon also made sure that 1.4 and 2x teleconverters would work with this version, unlike the original version. So what does it cost? Just like the 24-105 2.8Z, well, the 70-200 is $29.99. Yep, it's expensive, very expensive at $3,000. The original Chode 70-200 will stay on the market, and honestly, if you've been wanting to grab one of those for a while, you could probably get one used at a really good price, and you can't go wrong. The quality of that lens is great, the design, not as much. Now, Steven wants to go with the black version. I personally want to go with the white version because white says pro to me all day because the lenses, they've always been white, the pro lenses on Canon. That's why. Now, which one would you go with, black or white? Let me know down below. And there you have it. That's your photo news fix this time around. Thank you very much for watching. Jared Polin, PhonosPhoto.com. See ya.